Hi, my name is Tom Oviatt, and God sent me to invite you to participate in three miracles. The first of which is to eliminate the national debt. For the last several months, I've been trying to gather an audience, and my friends and friends of their friends have followed this story on social media, and by the grace of God and the help of the body of Christ, thousands of people have heard this story. Last week in my video, I promised to take this story to the battlefield, to step on the field of battle against the Goliath of our generation. I send this message not only to those who've been following it, but I also am sending it to 60 Minutes by email. The crime that has been committed against American people is the largest financial crime in history. It's in excess of $20 trillion. Now, I am probably qualified to explain this crime and expose this crime because before I knew Christ, I was a financial criminal. I was tried in federal court and found guilty. And at my sentencing, the assistant U.S. attorney, Ms. Jones, asked the judge to give me 95 years in prison. And here's what the judge said. I really watched during the course of this trial and I feel sorry for Mr. Oviatt, but I can only think he doesn't really know the difference between right and wrong. I just don't think he has any concept of truth and right and wrong. And it's a terrible affliction to have, I would think. And part of me agrees with Miss Jones that a person of this type should be locked up forever because there's no way to control what he will do next. And what I begin today is what I believe the government was afraid I would do next if they ever set me free. The case against the Federal Reserve and those who enable this crime on the public is a matter of public record. If you read the Federal Reserve Act and if you watch the 60 Minutes segment from a few weeks ago where Scott Pelley interviewed the Fed chairman, the facts are clear and the conclusion will be easy to follow and understand. The Fed can create money for free. They create it digitally. They loan it to the government, but by law, the taxpayers have to pay it back. The Fed pays no taxes because by law, according to the Federal Reserve Act, they're required to return their profits to the U.S. Treasury, to the American people. But in practice, they hide most of their income, trillions of dollars, and Congress looks the other way, leaving us with a $25 trillion debt to repay. Back in the time of King Ahab, God sent Elijah to gather the people of Israel and expose what was wrong with the prophets of Baal. And here's what Elijah said to the people at that time. And it's the same thing I would say to the people of America or the people of the world at this time. How long will you not decide between two choices? If the Lord is God, follow him. If Baal, then follow him. Today I would say, if the money created by the Federal Reserve is your God, then follow them. But if the Lord is God, let's follow him. I challenge Congress to enforce the Federal Reserve Act and eliminate the national debt. If they don't, God will. I challenge 60 Minutes to make this challenge known. Gather an audience. Shout it from rooftops. If they don't, God will. And I challenge the body of Christ to stand up and speak. If they don't, God will. All that is necessary for evil to prosper is for good men to do nothing. Put another way, Martin Luther King said, "In the end, we will not remember the word of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." This call and this miracle are meant for all of God's children in the world. And by putting it out there, all God's children and God will see who will stand and who will remain silent. I invite you to stand. I invite you to participate in this miracle. Spread the word. Tell your friends, tell your family. Go on social media. And 60 Minutes, please put this on 60 Minutes. This is a story worth hearing. This is a story that people will want to see how it turns out. Thank you so much for your attention. God bless you, and I look forward to speaking with you next week.